Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Turning a Moment into a Movement. I am your host, Jay Love, and I represent the Justice for Gerard Movement. Gerard is my son who was wrongfully convicted of a crime he didn't do, innocent, and he went to prison. And because of that journey with Gerard and so many others, um, we created this platform called Turning a Moment into a Movement, where we come here on Fridays to discuss wrongful convictions, injustice, and to educate and motivate. The mission is to bring awareness to the wrongful conviction of Gerard and all others who are wrongly convicted, overly sentenced, medically ill, mentally frail in our communities, to organize, to inspire, and educate all communities about the needs to disrupt systems, policies, and patterns of the criminal legal system that leads to wrongful convictions. Ooh, this I got so many blah 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 coming out of my mouth today. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I'm so happy you're here. We have dedicated this month of July to speak on Project 2025 and to have discussions and to bring in guests to come on and discuss Project 2025 with us. So I'm going to bring in Revatia. Hey, Revatia.
Well, hello there. How are you? I'm
I'm
getting
great.
all together here.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm hiding. I'm hiding right now, Jay. I
Are
have
you?
yeah, the teenagers have taken over my house, so I'm hiding in my room right now. This
Oh,
is
okay.
this is the office right now.
All right, Revatia.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
get
so glad to be here tonight, Jay. Listen, every time you talk about the mission, I get excited because I feel like I'm in purpose. I feel like the time is now. And this conversation tonight, we have to have because it's filled with a lot of information that we need to really begin to not only look at, but make new decisions based upon what we hear tonight. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad about having the conversation about Project 2025. Of course, I'm coming to you from the choice zone where your purpose is our purpose. Your choice matters with us, and we're helping people to start their businesses, take off in the caregiving business, and many other avenues that they're doing right now. So I'm excited about what I do, helping people walk in their purpose. So if you want to know about your gifts, your talents, and how to really put it together for that works for you in a peaceful and loving way, please contact me at Tia Taylor at thechoicezone.com. And Jay, I'm telling you,
Yes.
whatever we're doing, it's about justice. Whether it's
I
Michigan
know.
Coalition for Human Rights, G100 Oneness and Wisdom, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, whatever it is, it's about human rights and definitely spirituality. When you talk about transforming love community, if you're transforming lives, then you're about the business of humanity.
Yes. Reverend T, I'm so glad that we're coming on. Attorney Mack is going to join in on us with us later. But I'm
Mhm.
so glad that we're having this conversation because so much is going on. And I know me and you've been talking about it for a few months. But now, since the debate is just like the main thing that people are really focusing on, and then some people have no clue. And so we're not coming here to force anything on anybody. We're here to help you think and help you have these conversations with your friends and families and to motivate you and inspire you to take your power back, you
Mhm.
know. And Donald Trump was, when he said, black jobs, and so we've been talking about the black jobs and stuff,
Yeah.
but our black job this week is the vote.
Hmm.
That's the focus. And
Exactly.
so it's all about, not only is it our black job, it's everybody's, it's all of our jobs to get out here and to exercise our rights to vote. And so we're just going to talk about this all month. I'm so excited about our guest. Would you like to introduce her, Reverend?
Oh, I would love to. Oh my goodness, listen. She's got a whole list of things. I will look. Let me just pull it up. Let me pull it up for um our wonderful guest tonight. And I'm telling you,
First of all, Reverend,
yes.
I didn't even know until I read her bio on the website. I'm like, oh my God. But go ahead.
Oh, you didn't know. You didn't know what we had,
No,
huh?
I didn't know.
Look, I get an opportunity every time to read and look at it and remember, because sometimes you can walk with people among you and not really know who you're walking with, right? You're not really
Right.
knowing. And so this is a delight for me. Today we have Bishop Bernadel Jefferson. She is a seasoned pastor. And look, I'm giving this to you. This is the short bio, okay? Dedicated community activist. She has an impressive 30 plus year of history of success. Founder of Caution, Citizens Advocating United Together, Informed, Organized, New Direction. That was in 2003. She has spearheaded numerous domestic and international initiatives across various industries. Currently serving as a commissioner and researcher, Bishop Bernadel is a dynamic force in advocating for community well being. Her commitment to both local and global causes is underscored by active membership in community based organization partners, CBOP, and engagement in community based participatory research, CBPR. Beyond her roles, Bishop Bernadel is an executive committee member of the Charles Stewart Mott Department of Public Health at MSU. She has also taken on another role through Michigan State University. Uh, in dealing with community activism. She received the prestigious National Sojourner Truth Award for her
Wow.
contributions and played a crucial role as the Genesee County chairperson for Public Act 4 Emergency Manager Law, unveiling the Flint water crisis. And
Wow.
she is definitely 39 years, I think it might be 40 now, married to Latham Jefferson. Bishop Bernadel is a devoted family person with 10 children, 13 grandchildren. This strong family foundation aligns with her leadership style, characterized by resilience, humility, and a focus on collaborative success. Now, the only thing I didn't mention is that if you need a prayer through, better call Bishop. If you try, look, when you need somebody to touch and agree.
Uh-huh.
And last but not least, I'm so proud to be able to call her my aunt. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Yes. Welcome, Bishop
Thank you so
Bernadette.
much. Thank you. Thank
She's
you.
still
Yeah.
traveling, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you on the road?
So we pulled over and we stopped, but uh, just running, trying to do other things today. So it's always something, but want to make sure that we're able to reach the people and do what's necessary. And sometimes that includes traveling. Sometimes that
Mhm.
includes going to places that you don't want to go. Listen to people you don't want to hear, and be able to speak out wherever and whenever, and not be afraid. It's one thing the young lady told me some years ago. They closed the senior citizen facilities and the youth facilities here in Flint, Michigan. I think it was about five or six of them, and I went to Lansing in order to get them back open. And she told me one thing. She told me, she said, it's important that we're at the table. If we're at the table, if we're not at the table, we can't make a difference. Because
Right.
who's gonna bring our problems and situations to the table if we don't do it?
Exactly.
So
I
it's
agree, Bishop.
necessary. I don't know how to do this, but anyhow, we can work it out.
Yes, you good. You're everything is good. So let's talk about Project 2025, a critical, I titled it A Critical Conversation. Um, I think it's critical because of everything that's going on right now. We're watching it actually in live living color. Um, some of these things and policies they want to implement, they have already set the stage for them. Um, before 2025. So what do you think, Bishop?
A lot of people think that this is something for us. I think about when the right to work, and so many crazy people in a state where the sit down strike happened. We had a right to work state because of the
Mm-hmm.
ignorance of people. They didn't know the right to work was taking away their rights. And this is the same thing. Project 2025 is taking away everything that we've fought for, everything that we went to jail for, everything that we've shedded blood for, everything that was voted for to enhance and to make better. They want to annihilate it. And
Yeah.
if you know, and part of the plan is to discredit Biden. Biden,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I said the other day, they focus on his slowfulness, not his adequacy,
Mm-hmm.
but his slowfulness. They ain't focused on the 35 lies that was told. That not one thing Trump said was the truth. It was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
There was no truth in it. And so if we don't stand up for what's right and for what's true, what's going to be beneficial, what's going to help us, everybody. And this is not just a black thing. I want you to know that.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
It's a people thing. And when we come to that, we got to understand. I was looking at it now. I'm so grateful. Even we all got to get involved.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of the pastors, and she wasn't able to be on this evening, but she said, "I don't get in politics." She said, "But this is our life." And Project 2025 is over 1,000 pages. Over 1,000. People will get discouraged, disappointed, and won't even read it. Not only
Mm-hmm.
do we have to read it, but we got to study it and get an understanding. What is this saying?
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yes.
I look at is in marriage equality. In other words, you can do anything you want to me and get a divorce, take everything I got, and I don't have anything to say about it. No, 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 no substance. Condemn single mothers. Wait, let me read this. While promoting only traditional families. Now, you tell me if we got more traditional families or more single mothers.
More
So who is
single
that going?
mothers. Yeah.
So condemning. So because I'm a single mother, or I go one step further, a single parent, because whether you're a mother or father, uh, lunches, school lunches, was to help the children. School breakfasts is because they say they could not learn on an empty stomach.
Mm-hmm.
There's a program we instituted at my church in the summer was to feed the children because when school was out, what was they gonna eat? What were they gonna do? They had the same problem. It's just that they didn't have to go to school. They still need to eat.
Yes. So I did a PowerPoint, you guys, about Project 2025. I'm gonna pull it up right quick.
Great.
What is Project 2025? First of all, Project 2025 is a conservative and right-wing policy recommendations by the Heritage Foundation aimed to transform the U.S. federal government and concentrate executive authority if the 2024 presidential election is won by the presumed Republican candidate, Donald Trump. According to the project, the president has direct oversight of the entire executive branch as per Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution and the urinary executive theory. The proposal suggests reclassifying numerous federal civic service employees as political appointees and to replace them with supporters more aligned with the agenda of the future Republican president. Advocates urge that this change would dismantle what they perceive as large, unaccountable, presumably liberal government bureaucracy. Additionally, the project intends to embed Christian values in both government and society. Um, I want to play this video because this young lady explains it in a nutshell, you guys.
And while you getting that video, getting it ready, if we don't
Uh-huh.
think he will not have an effect, look at the trial. How many judges, Supreme judges, did he have on the bench that he put on the bench? And everything they did was crooked as two left shoes, wrong as two
Yes,
left.
that's
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Only thing they did right was convicted him.
exactly.
Hmm.
And out of the people that wrote Project 2025, 30 of them worked for him out of 38.
Yes.
And he keeps
And,
talking about these 19 people that were backing him, you know.
and
So he says,
right.
I don't know how anybody can believe anything he says. Not anything. If he told me it was raining outside, I would need to verify that.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he lies constantly.
Right. Here's the video, you guys.
We need to talk about it. Project 2025. What is it? Who wrote it? Where did it come from? The entire far-right blueprint is 920 pages and 30 chapters. You're not going to read all that. I don't expect you to. And if you haven't even heard of Project 2025, that's okay too. But you do need to know what's in it because it's pretty terrifying. Think a playbook for Handmaid's Tale, essentially turning the US into Gilead. I've looked for some good, easy explanations of Project 2025, and there really aren't that many. This is going to be the most comprehensive and simple explanation of 2025 that you're going to get. So background, Project 2025 dates back to 1973. That's when the Heritage Foundation, a very powerful conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C., was founded. They are the writers and the architects of Project 2025. And their main mission and goal is to move America to a more far-right Christian nationalist state. They originally came to prominence when they wrote their first manifesto in 1981 titled A Mandate for Leadership. And get this, those very same policies were the ones that were used and implemented in the Reagan administration. Seriously, around 60% of the 2,000 proposals written in the manifesto were implemented by Reagan. So now they're back again with a new edition, and this new edition is known as Project 2025. And it's supposed to provide guidance for the Don or whoever becomes the next Republican president. And these 900 pages and 30 chapters are written by professors, doctors, scientists, lawyers, scholars on each subject. And they've divided Project 2025 into 4 main pillars. The first is policy, which is this big book. The second is personnel. They're creating this huge conservative database, think LinkedIn, but for DJT loyalists. The third pillar is training. They set up this online educational system called the Presidential Administration Academy, where they teach their views and ideology in a course. And the fourth is called Playbook, which is an action game designed for how they're going to get everything done. Now let's get into some of the very concerning things on their wish list for DJT's second term. Starting off strong on pages 450 to 503, they're calling for a complete ban on abortions. Not very shocking. Page 319, they're saying the Department of Education should be eliminated. And in addition to calling for its elimination, they state that any school that requires a vaccine or mask mandate will not receive federal funding. Page 482, eliminate the Head Start program. Page 675, calling for the elimination of NOAA and the National Weather Service. Because these organizations, and I quote, have become one of the main drivers of climate change alarm industry and as such is harmful to the future U.S. prosperity. Page 133, they call for the complete dismantling of the Department of Homeland Security. In addition, they argue for the elimination of the FBI along with the Department of Justice. Page 5, they call for a complete ban on corn, writing that corn should be outlawed, the people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned, and anyone else who participates or facilitates it should be registered. Page 104, reverse policies that allow transgender individuals to serve in the military. Gender dysmorphia is incompatible with the demands of the military service, and the use of public monies for transgender surgeries or to facilitate abortion for service members should be ended. And there's so much more, including the possibility of ending birthright citizenship, banning African American and gender studies in all levels of education, calling for an ending of any DEI programs, getting rid of gay marriage, ending the Affordable Care Act, and it also calls for the mass deportation of immigrants and proposes a plan to round up illegal migrants and lock them up and put them in camps. But perhaps one of the most troubling and well thought out plans is the move to reclassify federal workers under what is known as Schedule F. Now, I'm going to get a little HR heavy, but please stick with me because it's so important. Now, there are 2 types of federal employees. The first group are merit-based workers. These are career positions. These people have earned them through going to school, getting work experience. They're either considered experts or they could be a part of the support staff. These people are hired because they know their stuff. Think an engineer at NASA or a scientist at the FDA. And their federal jobs have protections. Now, the other class are at-will or appointed workers. These employees tend to serve at the pleasure of the president or the administration, which basically means they can be fired or replaced at any time. To put it all in context, there are about 2 million of the first class of merit-based employees and only about 4,000 political appointed ones. Under this new plan of Schedule F, they'd reclassify a bunch of the regular civil servants into political appointees. That way the Don can replace them with loyalists. Now, how does replacing all of these people help him carry out his plan? Let's do an example. Under Schedule F, DJT could take a scientist at the FDA, fire him, and then replace him with, let's say, a scientist who wouldn't give clearance to birth control or the abortion pill, therefore making it illegal and inaccessible without having to go through the courts, without having to go through Congress. By the way, they specifically lay this out in the plan in the 900 pages. Now, remember what I said about the whole conservative LinkedIn? That's the database they're going to use to fill these positions. A bunch of unqualified loyalists. And in October of 2020, actually, DJT tried to do this. He tried to implement Schedule F. He signed it into order, but then he lost in November. And the whole thing was pretty much a secret, but Biden then immediately repealed it. But if he wins this time, they say it'll be one of the first acts of his presidency. Now, the Don has come out and said he doesn't know anything about this Project 2025 and has been trying to distance himself from it. But at least 26 authors and people who are associated with Project 2025 served in his very own administration, including Russ Voigt, John McKinty, Stephen Miller, and many others. Also, his own platform, Agenda 47, just sounds like a SparkNotes version of Project 2025. The president of the Heritage Foundation is calling Project 2025 the New American Revolution. The second DJT term could lead the way.
Yeah, you guys.
Mm.
What you think, Rabbitier?
That is, we need to do a lot. We need to break this down. We need to also reveal the lies that are being told right now by some of us who are following him, are saying that he doesn't know anything about it. He's not associated with it. And that he's supposed to be backing something called Project 47. Now,
Agenda 47.
what is it called?
Agenda 47.
Agenda 47, right. Okay. Whatever that is. I'm looking at what
Project
we're facing right now.
2025.
Exactly. It's probably the same thing, and the thing about it is we need to really, if we just look at it's like, where do you begin? But if you look at the other thing is, how come the Heritage Foundation gets to last this long doing this stuff? This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about even let's just look at the no fault, what is it? What they call it? No fault divorce laws. Was introduced to simplify the divorce process, reduce litigation, and mitigate the emotional and financial strain of proving fault. Okay. So Project 2025 argues that they weaken the institution of marriage, incentivize divorce, and disproportionately harm men in divorce settlements and custody arrangements. I don't know about anybody out here, but I do not foresee women being protected through this.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. Supporters of ending no fault divorce believe that making divorce more challenging would reinforce traditional family structures and values. And we need to admit that some of the traditions weren't safe for people. Some of those traditions was not a safety net for people. Just
No.
because you can say I was married to somebody for so many years, if he was kicking your behind, that's not good. If the children were abused, that's not good. So they argue that easier access to divorce has contributed to higher divorce rates and social instability. I'm sorry. Divorce should not be the only monitor of having a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That should not dignify whether you have a healthy relationship or not. Sometimes you have to leave to get healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And so this is really I mean, and that's just one part. That's just one part um of just this alone. It reflects a broader um ideological battles over family values, gender roles, and individual freedoms with significant implications for societal well-being and gender equality. So I don't see equality happening when it
No, it
comes
seems like they want to.
to that.
It seems like they want to reset the clock back when women didn't have a voice. Back when women was, she was like a second-rate citizen, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah,
couldn't. She
chattel.
had to have the husband permission. She couldn't buy. She couldn't have a checking account. It seemed like they're trying to silence women. But then,
Yeah.
in the agenda 47, he has something in there about baby bonus, where they're, if you're having a baby, they're going to give you some kind of bonus, and for you. And and I hate to jump here, but so when I first started listening to this Stepford Wives, you're right, blessed love. Um, everybody kept saying handmade tales, and I hadn't watched it, right? I hadn't watched it, but it just kept coming up in all everything I was reading about it. So I have recently started watching it, and I'm like, this is kind of spooky, of the stuff that this Project 2025, and then watching this movie that was started the series. It was a series that started in 2017 that's still going on right now. But it's kind of all of this stuff as the government brought in these Christian like Christian nationals for us, but fanatic Christian group that took over the United States. And this is what they're doing. I mean, I saw this video and I got it right here, you guys, where Kevin Roberts, the guy over Project 2025, he's talking to this Christian group. Here you go.
We've been working with all of them on one project since soon after Joe Biden took the oath of office, before any conservative presidential candidates had even entered the race. As my friend and colleague Paul Dans before talked about briefly, our Project 2025 has developed a comprehensive policy agenda, but even more importantly, recruiting people, 20,000 people to go into the next administration, hopefully to help take back this country for you and for your audiences. We want no credit. We want the American people, if President Trump is elected again, President Trump and his administration, to take credit for that. But it will also be a great sign, if all of this is successful, that in fact, as we know in our prayer time, but maybe not every time when we're watching the news, that the Lord is still smiling upon America.
Well, he can forget that smile. He can forget it. The Lord is not pleased with that.
No. And the bad part about it, they so-called do it in the name of Jesus, but it's so far from the truth. So far from the truth. And that's why we have to study to show ourselves approved, a workman rightly dividing the word of truth, need not be ashamed. We got to know what to say. Not, see, what we have to understand, the devil know the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And he will twist it to make it fit his situation and circumstances. And so we have to be able to discern and be able to tear that and go through there and saying, oh no, that ain't what that said, that ain't what that mean. Who was he talking to? And when was he talking? So we got to know who he talking to, what time it was, and who this for. Said a good one. Women be silent in the church. Oh, so they use that for every woman. Woman can't preach woman. But that wasn't who he was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. There were women that had never been in church. They didn't know what they were talking about. They were sitting on one side of the church, and their husbands was sitting on the other side of the church, and they was hollering across the room. What that mean? What they saying? And he said, "Let your wife be silent in the church. When you get home, teach her. If they want to talk about women in the church, a woman was the first one that carried the word." And that
Mm-hmm.
was Mary. In the beginning was the word. The word was God, and the word was with God. She carried it and delivered it.
Yes.
So we got to know. We gotta get it. He said, out of all our getting, get an understanding. What is he saying? Break it down. And I am so grateful for the people that have taken time to discern and go through this and go through it with a fine tooth comb to see what they are really saying and to get an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
And our responsibility. I'm so grateful for this podcast, but we got to have more podcasts, more TV shows, more internet. We've got to get the word out. We've got
Mhm.
to educate the people, because if we don't educate the people, they will go with the foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
old foolish Galatians who have deceived you,
Yep.
and that's what, if you repeat a thing 3 times, it gets into the person. So that's why they keep
Mhm.
going over this over and over and over and over and over, instead of going over, he told the truth, his facts was right,
Right.
he right on point, he's
Right.
doing the
Mhm.
work, and he's qualified.
Yep. Mhm.
He's been convicted of 34 felonies, and all you can focus on is Biden.
But
34.
not only the felonies, let's go about the lies,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
lies that was told that night. Wasn't no
Yep.
Yeah.
truth nowhere that came out of Trump's mouth. And
Right.
nobody says nothing about that. That's all right. He lied. That's all right. He didn't have
Yes.
no facts. That's all right.
But you know
That's
what?
right.
The people who believe in what they believe in don't care. They
Mm-mm.
don't care about that. They just want their way. So we have to understand that the Heritage Foundation didn't just pop up here yesterday. It was
Mm-mm.
founded in 1973 during the Nixon administration by Paul Waywich, who is an American religious conservative, political activist, commentator associated with the New Right. And
Mhm.
when Edwin somebody, a former think tank executive, congressional aide, and foreign consultant. Family comes from a line of devoted Roman Catholic German Americans. Three of
Mm.
his maternal uncles were priests. And Joseph Cohr, the grandson of the brewer Adolf Coors, the president of Coors Brewing Company. Coors was perhaps best known for his right-handed politics and his support for Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan. So this is who created this heritage group. They already came in with these really racist ways and biased ways of thinking, how they wanted to shape this country. And they, as you look at the history of Ronald Reagan, who he really implemented a lot of the Heritage Foundation's positions, and also Trump in his term he did as well. So this is where this came from. This just didn't pop up overnight, and so we have to understand that these things is embedded in these people who want this world or this United States to be a certain way. And they want us to be a certain way. And so now they have the opportunity where Trump, who they can control, who is like the puppet, their puppet, who they're going to try to, if we don't vote, if we don't get out here and do our, due diligence. to
Yeah.
put in position these policies that they came up with.
Well, yeah. And you know what? People have got to realize that Jesus did not spend time annihilating other people. He did not spend time. Yeshua was not a person to go around killing others. You know, he did not. Yeshua did not go around trying to make people. He was not a he did not coerce people to follow him. And it was when you know that the basis of the teachings of Christ is love. It's love. And so these things are not love. That's not loving. It's not loving at all. And and so Jesus did not have to make people be this way or be that way. Love is the thing that changes, that helps people to transform to their greater selves. But if you're not loving on anybody, what good? So you're gonna force? I don't know. Does this sound as anybody who knows their history? Is this sounding like the Christian crusade? Are we back here again?
Okay.
When
Greetings,
the
Attorney Matt.
when the yeah when the Pope and the Pope and um the Roman leaders got in bed together and decided that we're going to force people to become Christian so that we can make them obey us. I need everybody to get a hold of that history.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you did not say at that time, which was years after Christ, this was not what Jesus did not tell you them to do this. This was not a people, and remember, Christianity was not what Jesus called. The people who were with Yeshua did not call themselves Christians. At that time, they were the people of the way. Christianity didn't come about until they got to Antioch. And that was after he passed. After he made his transition and after he was had transitioned on up and sent the Holy Ghost. Okay? When you know the truth will, like Bless Love say, it's gonna set you free. So
Mm-hmm.
if you think that following this way to prosecute people and force them into a religion, if you think that is the way of Christ, you are sadly misunderstood.
Well,
Yeah.
look. Trump got a so-called Bible out, but if we go back at the beginning, when the Catholics, the Catholics, they wrote the Bible the way they wanted to do it, and that's why come we got it out of all our get an understanding, and then they translate it so it would fit their rules and their regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, we got to know this thing and get an understanding what was the intent and what was they really saying. Yeah.
I'm just laughing because how could somebody have a Bible who was holding the Bible upside down? Uh, doing one of his things when he was in office. Like, okay. Hi, Attorney Mac. Welcome.
Much love to
Attorney Matt.
everybody. Two sisters I'm familiar with, other sister Bishop Jefferson. Much
Yes.
love and respect to you.
You
I've
also.
I've read your pre-ops. They're quite impressive, I might add.
Thank you.
So proud to meet the person and the personality behind all the great pre-ops, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm J Love. I know the people don't want me to get into. See, I got to do it, J Love. I got to
Go
do
ahead.
it.
Help yourself. Help yourself.
I got to do it. But I will try to be abbreviated. Try. Okay. Look, Attorney Hugo J. Mack Esquire here. If you find yourself on Trouble Boulevard, push, pull, tow that hoopity to Mack Street. Mack Street. Park in my virtual underground garage. It says free parking, not valet parking. Under no circumstances, leave the keys to your cars in it and get out. In my neighborhood, I'm just being for real. I'm just being for real. So, and when you're there in your time of distress, call the Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. And for those Mr. and Mrs. America ships at sea, reception might be bad. I'm going to say it again. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. Because hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. And J Love, I know this one thing. And Bishop, you don't know this, but J Love, she's a woman of integrity. She won't say it. People be stopping at her house, putting note on her car, writing a woman email, wanting a woman to kick me off the show. I know they do it. I know they do it. Haters. You see, when the backstabbers came out with OJs, they was really talking about me, and people have come on me. But I know it. I know it. It's all good, though. It's all good. Like Reverend Tia say, it's about love. It's okay. It's okay. So, but J Love and you know, Bishop, some people may even come at you, Bishop, why was you on the show with that crazy lawyer? You know, the show was going so good till he got on. It was going so good. so
I've been attacked before. I'm in good company. I know I'm in good company.
Okay, well, amen. You know, because, you know, Bishop, I tell people all the time, some of my colleagues, they stand up and they say, well, I graduated Harvard magna cum laude. You know, I graduated Yale summa cum laude. I'll tell people in a minute, I graduated University of Toledo in 1979. Thank you, Laude. So for me, it's all a good thing. It's all a good thing because I know who brought me up from hell.
I know, right?
Through the precious blood of God and Jesus Christ. So, Bishop, I tell people all the time, there are 45,000 lawyers in the state of Michigan. I believe I'm the only one who's with you tonight who did not parachute from heaven to be with you, as some of them have an impression of themselves. But I came up from hell through the blood of God and Jesus Christ, and proud to be here and still in this fight. So, you know, Bishop, when they ask you the question, as they've asked J Love and probably Reverend Tia too many a time, and you know, does that man really mean that, y'all, or is he just being a clown? Does he endorse that? I want you to tell everybody, Bishop, I'm gonna sanitize it for you. Tell him darn right the man endorses it. Darn right. You darn straight the man endorsed it. And once again, J Love, in conclusion, brought to you by Dr. Hugo J. Mack Esquire, the one true king of Russia, Scotland, and Lower Harlem. I love you. Okay. Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Attorney Mack, since we have you, you know, you're in the spotlight right now.
Good.
What are you thinking about this conversation that we're having tonight on Project 2025?
Well, first of all, I say God bless you and God bless our special guest, Bishop. The reason I'm late for getting on the show, I just came back from Renaissance High School in Detroit, Michigan, and attending a rally by the current president of the United States of America, a man named Joseph R. Biden. I have only seen maybe 3 presidents live in my lifetime. I saw Lyndon Johnson, but he was in helicopters, but I still take credit for that. I saw Barack Obama at Michigan Stadium in his first term when he was catching all that flack. You remember that oil well off the coast of, I don't know, in the Gulf Coast, Deep Horizon or something, name of it, and it was spilling all that oil. Remember that? It was spilling all that oil into the ocean, and they were trying to blame Barack Obama for it, a man who was perfectly innocent, by the way. You know, so I've seen Lyndon Johnson, Barack Obama. I did shake Bill Clinton's hand, you know, but from what I learned about later, I don't regret it. But anyway, I did shake his hand. I'm sure the man has washed his hands since then. I'm gonna let that go. So, but anyway, so I'm sorry, Bishop. I'm sorry.
Come on with the truth, baby.
I'm sorry.
Come on with the truth.
You know, I mean, but I said when we shook hands, you know, we didn't hug and we certainly wasn't going to kiss. So I was covered. I was covered. So anyway, and I saw Bill Clinton, I saw Barack Obama, I saw Lyndon Johnson in a helicopter. I had an opportunity to see Gerald Ford, who was a Michigan man, by the way, when he was in Ann Arbor. Didn't bother to walk across the street to see him. Had no business pardon Nixon. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know. And so, and the man that was the orange man, I wouldn't walk across the courtyard to see him. You see what I'm saying? So you know, I wouldn't do that. So, but and the reason I'm mentioning that too, I even broadcast from Facebook on it, because this election, in my 70 years of life on the face of this earth, there's never been a more consequential election than this to me. There really hasn't, because you know, our nation is a great nation. It is. It is a great nation. I wouldn't want to live nowhere else other than America. It don't mean that I love what America has done all the time and the racism and all that. But I'm saying here, Black people have a chance. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. How is the Jews have a chance? The Arabs have a chance. Italians have a chance. All the Hispanics, and especially the Orientals, they sure enough got a chance. You know, how is it everybody else can have a chance, make a chance, and we can't? We who have sacrificed the most, by the way, for this nation. How is it we don't have no chance? Because we're not making a chance. That's why. And so what I'm saying is, I had to go to that rally tonight to have my spiritual energy, because it's spiritual warfare, y'all. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. To add my spiritual energy to fight for what is right. And I want to warn, when I was going in, J Love, to the it's a Renaissance High School, they had a group of our Palestinian brothers and sisters outside, you know, trying to block the way, by the way. They had me confused because I said, oh, these people are in the way. I must have to walk around, and the police said, no, you got to go through there. So I had to walk through them people, and they had to slowly step aside. They didn't want, saying, well, abandon Biden and things about, Israel is genocide. And what I'm saying is, I hope my Palestinian brothers and sisters are listening, because when you listen to that debate, Donald Trump said a lot of things that were lies. One thing he said that was not a lie, that spoke the way he really felt. He said concerning Benjamin Netanyahu, when he gets into office, he got 3 words for him. And if you don't believe me, go back and listen to the debate. He said, finish the job. That's his message to Benjamin Netanyahu. Finish the job. Y'all, when you're talking about 2,000-pound bombs, when you tell somebody to finish the job, that means carpet bombing. Okay, in case y'all don't know what that is, that means everything is raised. Everything. Okay, so babies killed, finish the job. Innocent women killed, finish the job. Civilians killed, finish the job. So I would warn my Palestinian brothers and sisters, we can all want Biden to do more in terms of the Palestinian situation and Israel. But I'm telling you what, you protest against Joe Biden and let Donald Trump get in, y'all got nothing coming. Donald Trump made it real clear. Ain't no room for them Palestinians over there. Ain't no room. So it's not about a 2-state solution. It's about a 1-state solution. And either y'all adapt and being part of this under our control, or we're going to kill you. Mm-hmm. So in any event, I had to go there, J Love and Reverend Tia and Bishop. It isn't about Joe Biden, although I support him much more than Donald Trump. It's about our democracy. See, It's about our democracy. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be quiet, J Love. I know you don't want me to talk this long, but I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be quiet. You know, and I know, and y'all been talking about this before. These people want to eradicate democracy as we know it. Putting this man back in power is like giving, I'm sorry, I got to say it. It's like resurrecting Adolf Hitler, only this time we're going to give you the tools not to make the mistakes you made the first time. So call me wrong, call me what you want to say, but I know what I'm saying is true. So anytime you have a man, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to be quiet. He talks about these people being hostages, people defecating all up in the Capitol, jumping on police, trying to kill the police, wanting to hang Mike Pence. Who knows what they'd have done to Nancy Pelosi if they caught her? The woman ain't big as a minute. She can't take many punches. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I'm sorry, but see, who knows what they'd have done to that poor woman? Okay, and the thing of it is that what I know and what really galls me is that the way he turned on black people in front of that church, when with the George Floyd situation, this man wanted to sick the federal government. He wanted to sick the military on them. You remember what I'm talking about? Put tear gas all on them people. You know what I'm talking about. And got the nerve to stand up there and talk about, he a man of God. What God? Satan? So anyway.
Yes, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. See,
that's his God.
See, so what I'm saying is, when he talks about people, these people are hostages and patriots. You think about our hostages from 1980. Remember Iran when the Shah of Iran got kicked out and the Ayatollah took over. They had 147 of our people or something like that. Those people are hostages. How dare you call these terrorists hostages? Okay, them people that the Ayatollah took hostage, they didn't have no trial. They didn't have no due process. They didn't have no fairness. They were hostages. These people all had trials by their peers, full defense, and was guilty because they're on videotape. Okay,
Right.
See, these people are guilty. They're absolutely guilty. And the man is promising to let them all out, by the way. I'm sure you've heard that. And has bastardized the national anthem and honored them. I'm sure you all have heard that too. Okay. Right. So anyway, so I had to go there to support a man, and I saw him. The man looks every bit of 80 some years old. I've never denied that. But the man ain't no liar. I mean,
right.
So and what he stands for, he put the first black woman on the United States Supreme Court. See, some people say, well, so what? It's a big so what. What you mean, so what? What you mean, so what? You know how many black girls are growing up, my granddaughters now, see that they can be a Supreme Court justice too?
Right.
Kamala Harris, that they can be a vice president too, Yeah. So that means a lot. And all of y'all are black women. And I don't know about Bishop. Bishop may have children and grandkids, but I know the two of you do. Females. We need to have our black girls know how valuable and beautiful they are.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry, J Love. I just had to say that.
No, you good, Attorney Matt. I wanted to go back because you brought up George Floyd, and he said when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
That's right. That's right. But you notice when they was looting and rioting up there at the Capitol, he sat on his Bishop. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you. He sat on his derriere. He sat on his rotund derriere. Bishop, is that better? Okay. Sat up there watching the TV laughing. See? Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Okay. So, but yet he didn't call the National Guard, the Army out on them.
Right. But look at this, you guys. See, this is what this is happening. This was just happened last week in Nashville, Tennessee.
Only in Nashville. Baby, they training these. I had to run to get my phone. Baby. Look, this what we gearing up for?
That's our modern day KKK.
Look how they got their face covered.
That's the fucking food. I crack on one of his feet.
So they out there with no permit, with their white face cup, with their white hood. Oops, did I say hoods? With their white.
Hey, J Love, you dang sure didn't say hoodie.
The white.
You know what they would say? What gave them privilege? They had the flag. We can gather on any corner, and long as we got a flag, they can't say nothing to us.
Mm-hmm. They now see how they hide their identity. They loaded up in 3 U-Haul trucks, pile themselves so nobody won't get them license plates. Because they probably professionals out here.
Mm-hmm.
Why? and they was, their thing was, what is it? Restore. What was that? Hold on, you guys.
Reclaim our nation, all that
Reclaim
stuff.
our nation,
Yeah.
and also to they were talking about mass deportation of non-whites. So what does that mean? Where I'm going?
Right. Yeah.
Where am I going? I ain't been nowhere but here.
Right.
And truth be told, they all got some African blood in them somewhere, so they should be deportating
That's
their
right.
own
That's
behind.
right. That's right.
That's really ridiculous.
And
that shows the ignorance.
Right.
Exactly.
And I've always felt for a long time that song "Fly the Buttermilk Shoe Fly Shoe." I always said they meant that about Black people. Always did, because our blood and our heritage is mixed in with everything. And so yeah. And oh, by the way, can I ask y'all this question, ladies? If they stand up for righteous, why you got your face covered?
Right.
Because they're all the way wrong. Bishop said it, they wrong. It's 2 left foot. Yes.
Yeah.
2 left feet.
That's right.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. So yeah, and how some Black people can, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. They've got this guy Byron Donaldson, this Black guy, this congressman out of Florida. I hope you and your people is listening, Byron. You ain't gonna be vice president. Tim Scott, you ain't gonna be vice president. West, or whatever that brother is from Texas, you ain't gonna be vice president. Ben Carson, you dang sure ain't gonna be vice president. So all this getting out there shilling, and you remember what Byron Donaldson said, Black people had it better than Jim Crow. What an ignorant thing to say. What an ignorant thing to say, So, but, Trump and them ain't got to say much. They got people like Tim Scott and them saying it for them.
Right.
Wow.
And they smile and pat him on the back.
Yeah.
But, while they spew off their racist talking points for them.
Right.
And so when we're looking at all of this stuff, and some of us not looking at it, we're walking around here oblivious. But you need to be looking at it because they're organizing.
Yes.
They know exactly what they want. They got their agenda together, Project 25 and
that's right.
Agenda 47. And that's what they're pushing. They got their people in alignment with us. And while we are walking around here oblivious to the world and thinking that this don't have anything to do with you, politics have everything to do with you. It is every area of your life.
Yeah.
And education. Go ahead, Bishop.
Are labeled as Democrats. They just took the Democratic identity in order to get on the ballot. They are. I'll say it. Our mayor. I say he went to Lansing as a Democrat. He came back as a Republican. What was the name of that later? He say he's backed by a super PAC. Who is the super PAC? Republicans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that super PAC is APAC. It's probably backed by APAC.
Yeah.
And so if they're backed by APAC, then APAC we know is the lobbyist company. That's a lobbying company who is spearheaded by it's Jewish led, and they pay to lobby for those politicians, and those politicians get money when they go and vote and speak out for what APAC wants.
Well, and
switch sides.
And can I say this again about some of these Black folks like Candace Owens, for example? Okay, see what Candace, but she's realizing it now. She's realizing it now. Just like Omarosa had to realize it. See, she realized now, black people, unlike other people, have a shelf life. Okay, like a can of tomatoes. Whenever you get something from the store, you look at it, it said good through, whatever it is. See, what Tim Scott and them don't understand, they have a shelf life. See, they think they're unconditional. They're not. Tim Scott's only value is to disparage black folk and to discourage black folk from voting and to try to peel off enough black votes, which, by the way, are the backbone of the Democratic Party, by the way, particularly black women, I might add, okay, to peel off and discourage them for Donald Trump to win. But see, Tim Scott one day will find out, like Omarosa found out, like Candace Owens found out. I'm so happy that she found out. It's okay to talk about the mud people. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. But don't you dare cross that line and talk about some real power. Okay. Don't you dare make the mistake of criticizing. And I love my Jewish brothers. Please don't get me wrong. I love all people. But don't you dare criticize no rich Jew, Candace. Oh, no, Candace. No, little pickaninny. You got to be put in your place. I'm sorry. So, but I'm like my good friend Sam Riddle. What the hell? So what I'm saying is, and she learned that lesson. But now all of a sudden, she's back to us now, wanting to talk about being a black girl growing up and all that stuff. You wasn't saying that when you was hooking up with Donald Trump and them. See, and remember, this is the woman who coined that white racist. Can't remember what his name is, but saying, when I get on an airplane, if I see it's like a black pilot or a black co-pilot, I just wonder, are they qualified to fly this plane? That's what the man said, and that's what Candace Owens mimicked, like a monkey, like a trained monkey. Okay, she gets nervous looking at a black man or woman in an airplane. How insulting!
Attorney Matt.
Yeah.
In our words of our brother Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Look, I got it. Oh, here I was trying to play it, but
that's right. Well said, J Love. Well said.
Anyway, they are not like us. I don't know who they are like, but they not. Candace Owens was walking around with that hoodie, that sweatshirt on, talking about White Lives Matter.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Until they kicked her out the crew. So.
Hey, J Love, can I say this one thing that I'm not going to say no more? And I know y'all thought I talk too much, and I'm sorry, but all Candace Owens, Tim Scott, Byron Donaldson, that brother West, that congressman, that MAGA guy from Congress. Oh, they ran their behinds out of Atlanta too. I don't know if you saw that. The four of them had like a barbershop. Did y'all see that? Like there's me with some black people in a barbershop, as if their constituents go to black barbershops. Don't none of them represent no black people. All their constituents is white. It's Snow White. When you saw Donald Trump go to that black church in Detroit, you'd have thought it was a white church. I didn't see no black people in that audience.
But they have a black pastor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
okay,
again. Hold on, you guys. I would have to keep on bringing it back in. Not like us.
Yeah. So
because they're in it for other reasons outside.
Correct. But J Love, I'm gonna say this. Like I've said before. Byron Donaldson, Tim Scott, that brother West from Florida, from Texas, Ben Carson and all that kind of stuff. What they don't realize is they swimming in a lake, all right, a lake with a big crocodile in it, okay? And that lake has got a bunch of black ducks swimming around in it, all right? What they don't realize is by helping that crocodile, the only privilege they've gotten is to be the last ones eaten. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. The last ones eaten. So keep on with that stuff, Tim Scott. Keep on denigrating Black people. Keep on talking about we don't have nothing because our women are immoral. We don't have no vet. Keep on talking that. Keep on talking that, and you're gonna find out, just like Candace and Omarosa, when your shelf life is up, your Black behind is gone.
You're gonna be trying to come back on the Breakfast Club.
Anyway. Yeah, and try to. I know. J Love, Lord knows my head don't need to be no bigger, but it dang near exploded when I saw that. I know. I said, what?
They're gonna learn today. They're gonna learn today. They're about to learn. They are about to learn. I'm telling you.
You guys, I got some. Go ahead,
Reverend. Got another one. What you got, Jay?
Yes. Joy Reid. I have Joy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys. So you want to see what it looks like when the Heritage Foundation declares war on the rest of us? Take a look.
That we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
You hear that? Now, first of all, that guy's the head of the Heritage Foundation. He's not coming after anybody with violence, but it's definitely a threat of violence that he's making. I mean, he'll be off golfing somewhere at Mar-a-Lago or at some other posh country club while the Proud Boy types do the violence. But he is threatening violence if the left, meaning everybody except conservative white men and their wives and the conservative white man adjacent people of color who think they can derive power from the conservative white men who employ them and who take them around like house pets wherever they go. If we, who are the rest of us, everyone else, non-conservative whites, college-educated whites, college-educated Americans, period, people of color, meaning Black and brown folks and Asian Americans, all of whom vote majority the other way, LGBTQ folks, right? Everybody except white, Christian, right-wing men and their wives and the conservative male adjacent non-whites who think hanging around them will get them some power too. Everybody else, he just declared war on y'all. And when someone declares war on you, you are at war, whether you want to be at war or not. What you going to do about it? Now, I actually understand why there is a lot of panic and freak-outery about Joe Biden. And as you all know, who follow me on this app and others, I have a lot of issues with Joe Biden. I have a lot of criticisms, a lot of problems with him. But is that the fight that we need to be having right now? Is that the main fight? Or is the main fight stopping people like that guy, who is the person behind Project 2025? So he would be your new boss if Donald Trump became the new king. Per John Roberts, the president is the king. Under King Trump, that guy would have more power than he has today. And he has a lot of power today because the Heritage Foundation and Leonard Leo picked all 6 of those Supreme Court conservatives, not just the 3 that Trump put on by signing on to it, all 6 of them. Heritage has been picking conservative justices who all lied in their hearings that they respect precedent, who all lied, claiming that they respect past decisions and stare decisis, all lied and said that they did not believe that presidents were above the law. All of them lied to get on the court to do what they have been doing in this term and what they did in the last term, getting rid of Roe. That was their purpose the whole time. What are you going to do about that guy declaring war on you? Because, again, if you are not a right-wing, conservative, Christian man, or that man's wife, or a conservative Christian man adjacent Black or brown that they like to carry around with them like in a handbag, on the prayer and hope that those people will derive some power with the conservative white Christian men who are their boss. If you're not one of that group of people or one of their pet incels, you are the person against whom that guy has declared war. What are you going to do about it? Fight amongst yourselves about whether Joe Biden should be the nominee? Or prepare to fight those people at the polls in November, from the rooter to the tutor, from school board to the White House, every member of Congress, every member of your state house, every member of your state senate, every mayor, every school board person who's up for election. You need to look at the letter after their name. And if that letter is R, you need to vote against them and get them out of power. Because the more power they get, the more they're going to do to you. Do you want to be Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, or Mississippi, or Florida, or Texas? Because the whole country will be if that man and his friends and King Trump get their way. Is that good enough for you? That's the fight. I could be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Argue with me. Let me know what you think. Because that's where I'm at least on today, on the day before, July 4th, supposedly the celebration of the United States leaving the King of England in order to get, according to John Roberts and friends, our own king. That ain't good enough for me. You let me know if it's good enough for you. Y'all be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
That's it. Yeah. And
The
We
truth.
got to determine what's the
truth,
fight.
the truth, and nothing but the truth.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And CJ Love, if I could just segue back to some programs past, which is why I was saying so forcefully, you can't afford to sit this out. You can't afford to say I'm protesting by not voting, okay? You can't afford to say that. You still paying taxes. You still subject to the law. You still subject to whatever tyrannical imposition people are going to put on you. So, it's like, a slave, I'm not going to fight because it's just everything is evil. I'm not going to fight for my freedom. Well, then die. I'm sorry, then die. Okay.
Yep.
But if you're going to die, get out my way. Okay. Get out the way. Go by the side of the road. Die by the side of the road. Don't die creating a roadblock for me. Okay. Because I know some people that don't want to die. We want to live. Okay. And fight this evil. Black people are the most spiritual people in the history of this nation. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And so why in the world would we raise in a Black church understanding the power of God and Jesus Christ? Why are we going to stand up and support evil? See, that's what I can't understand. And by the way, if the Democrats was doing what Trump and them was doing, I'd be a Republican like yesterday and the day before. But they're not. So, I'm not, like I told that brother a couple of weeks ago, whatever. We don't need any permanent friends, but we need permanent interests. Okay? Permanent interest. And as long as you are meeting my interests and supporting me and my community, what I believe, we can be friends. But if you're not, I don't want to talk. I'm not starved for conversation. so anyway.
And another thing she hit on, Attorney Mac and Bishop and Revertia, she said also, basically, you can't be sleeping on your local elections either.
That's right. She's right.
Those are most important. When we look at what's going on locally in your community, you can't afford to sit home.
That's right.
Because some of these same people.
Because that affects us more than the presidential election.
Of course.
Exactly.
But our local elections, our city council, our mayor, our governor, our state representative, they affect us more than the presidential election.
Right. We all out bent out of shape about Trump, but are we looking at these judges, Attorney Mac? Are we looking at these judges that's running? Are we looking for, go ahead. Are we looking at, who's running for mayor? Who's trying to be the governor?
That's right.
Who's running for Senate?
Right.
Who's running for a House rep? Like all of these things are equally, if not more important than you trying to figure out who's going to be the president.
Right.
You are distracted by this stuff.
Right.
And they want you to be. because some of these people want to still run these same games and play all in your face.
That's
but
right.
we don't have to wake up and pay attention, because we've been voting on name recognition. And,
right. That's
you
right.
know, some of these people, they whole dang on family been judges, and they whole dang on families been in these offices and in these seats. But what have they done for you lately?
Right.
You know,
right.
And we have to start looking past these names and really find out who's for us. Because if you end up in court and you ain't you get up with the wrong judge.
You bow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Boom. You ain't
bow.
thinking about the president now. You thinking about not going to sitting in some of these raggedy prisons around here in Michigan.
Right.
So this stuff is real. These policies, you know, these small little cities that we, you know, drive through. We got sundown towns in Michigan. We got sundown cities in Michigan. And so in 2024.
Right.
We ain't gotta look at Tennessee. We can look right here.
Right.
They might not have their hoods on, but they pulling up with the red, white, and blues on.
Right.
So
and J Love, if I can just interject this. Part of the hurting part of this whole thing, I mean, you know, I ran for county prosecutor in 2020. You know that. All y'all, except Bishop, man, I know that. But I did that for a reason. Okay, I did that for a reason, because somebody has got to stand up and start changing the narrative. If I don't run for county prosecutor, there's no such talk about restorative justice. There's no such talk about, and I'm sorry, it's just true. There's no such talk about qualified immunity, okay? You know, there's no such talk about holding police accountable. There's no such talk about breaking the incestuous relationship between police and prosecutor, okay? There's no such talk about police turning more to military every single day, because one of the things I highlight, if you look at the standard issue of a soldier, like a U.S. Marine in full battle regalia, and you look at the SWAT team outfits, okay, dealing with local issues, really hard to tell the difference between those uniforms. The armament is just about the same. The only thing that might be a little different is the automatic weapon that the soldier has. But we've got automatic weapons in police forces also. Okay, you know, we don't have bazookas, but we've got armored personnel carriers. Okay, so, and what I'm saying is, and what's hurtful with me is a lot of the criticism I got was not from the Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity's of the world. It was from these pseudo progressive universalist liberals, you know, who are like, how dare somebody been in a penitentiary run for prosecutor? Who do you think he is? You know what I'm saying? So, and so part of the problem is us. I've said it before, is us. We're so willing to let other people control the narrative, you know, like Reverend Jesse Jackson said, you know, when you look into a clear pool of water because your skin is brown, people will make you think you're looking into mud. Okay, and you're not. You're looking into a beautiful brown or black face. That you know, but if it's not white and pale and snowy, then it's mud. It's not mud. You know, it's a beautiful face. So I guess J Love and Bishop and Reverend Tia, thank you, because we got to start changing the narrative. This, I'm gonna say it one more time. This election is not about Joe Biden, okay? Whether you love Joe Biden or not. You know, it's not about him. It's about what the man stands for and what the other man stands for. That's what it's about. Okay? Okay. No,
and
nobody
also, what are we standing for?
Right, exactly. Nobody is immortal. Okay. You know, they talk about the man is this old. Well, you know what? It's a whole bunch of people a lot younger than Joe Biden that have died within the last 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that have died. So quit running that crap on me, okay? It's not the man, it's the system that the man represents. If something happened to Joe Biden, I've got every confidence in Kamala Harris. Yes, I do. Okay, so, you know, I hope the man, nothing don't happen to him. But if it does, I know that my country is still going to be secure. I can't say that about Donald Trump. If something happened to Donald Trump, somebody evil like him going to come up and do the same damn thing.
And then we also have to look at Attorney Mack, because you did bring something up about us. Detroit had a mass shooting the other day. 21 people were shot, right? And so we need to be looking at people who are in alignment with our communities and coming up with answers, not more prisons and longer prison sentences. Their answer immediately was an 80 police officer task force, and they're going to be out, and if you have a lot of people at your house, you might get ran up in with these, policing. We can't police ourselves or make policies and prison ourselves into safety. We have to really get to the core of the problems, and we need to elect and look for people who are looking at these problems that are in our communities and help us align us and help us come up with the conversation so we can correct some of these behaviors and what's really going on. Let's look at what's really going on, who's somebody that's willing to do that. Donald Trump had in Project 2025 and Agenda 47, they talking about the death penalty immediately for drug dealers and human traffickers and period, the death penalty. That's what they're looking at. They trying to take you straight to death. You know what I'm saying? And some of these kids are making terrible decisions. And, we don't want them to die for these decisions. But we also need somebody who's going to advocate for us we need to advocate for us to come up with solutions to stop all of this violence. And, so when we're talking about all these policies that are coming up, what are we looking at? What are we standing for? Go ahead, Ramati.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's so surprising how he wants to prosecute everybody, and then he got off, and there's no consequences for his felonies, all 34 counts.
That's right.
But our people need to suffer and go and have a death penalty.
That's right.
I think people need to wake up, because when you look at this Project 2025 and you look at the diversity and equity, the rolling back, they want to roll back civil rights, and it seeks to transform federal policies and institutions in ways that reduce or eliminate many of the protections and the initiatives designed to support marginalized group in the United States. This includes significant changes to how civil rights are enforced and how DEI initiatives are implemented across various sectors. You talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. They seek to remove terms related to diversity, equity, and inclusion and gender from all federal rules, regulations, contracts, grants, and legislations. So the grant that you thought that you might get, you may not get, because they may decide, because of the color of your skin, it's not going to be, you're not going to even be anywhere near having the opportunity to obtain that grant.
That's right. That's right.
It reflects a broader effort to erase federal support for initiatives aimed at promoting diversity and addressing systemic inequalities.
That's right. That's right.
You're not going to be able to say equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
That's going to be a race.
Right. That's right.
No critical race theory, nothing. You won't be getting no federal dollars.
Right.
No abortions or hospitals or doctors who do abortions. You won't be getting no federal money. This is what they're saying. Like, they're not only taking things out, they're taking the language. They want to remove the language.
Look what they do. Bishop. Look what they want to do to education.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Half our schools are not equipping our children because they haven't put they don't want to pay the teachers. So if they don't want to pay the teachers can't survive. Many teachers right now are paying to teach their children, the children that they have, so that they could get a qualified education. And so if they take the demand away, if they take the finance away, even the more, where do it leave us?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want
Where
to get rid
go?
of the Department of Education.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. And see, if I can say something, and I know y'all know this already. The Department of Education was founded on the premise of opening up education to everybody. See, once upon a time, the education in this country was private. It was private. It was private, it was white, and it was privileged. Okay? Okay. And see, when I hear people, particularly black people, talk about, oh, well, no, the charter schools, the private schools, that's the way to go. I'm not knocking any parent's ability or right to choose what's best for their child. But what I am knocking is a system that is designed to put black and marginalized, poor whites too, by the way, if any poor whites are listening, you too, you're not as white as you think you are. Okay. Oh, you too, you're going to get lumped in with the rest of us. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so hey, remind me of that movie Lean on Me with Morgan. Is a Morgan Freeman played Joe Clark, the principal
Mm-hmm.
at school. He talked to them white students that was left there and said, see, they left you back here with us. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. So I'm talking to the poor whites, disadvantaged whites too. So the thing of it is to eliminate any aspect of public education. Everything is privatized. And the problem with a private school is they don't have to accept the poor, the handicapped, okay, the emotionally challenged. See, a public school does. If you notice, every public school system, if your child has got a learning disability, there's supposed to be an apparatus there for your child to get that help. A private school doesn't have to do that. They don't have to do that. But yet, you've got these Republican and some of these weak behind, with all respect to the bishop, these weak behind Democrats, okay? You're saying, well, let's just give the public dollars to the private schools because parents got a right to make a decision. Well, you have a right to make a decision that you can afford, but don't use my tax dollars to support a private school when I know good and well if my little niece or nephew has got an emotional disability, they can't go there.
Yeah, they trying to make it where the parents and the school board will be able to fire and hire the teacher. So if a parent's got an issue, the principal out of there. Like, they don't have the.
Yeah.
It's just a lot that we're gonna just unravel all of this whole entire month of July, but we just really need to really get deep into it. Into what's going on here. The Supreme Court, Attorney Matt, we're going to talk about that too. But we just really need to get into this Project 25 and Agenda 47 for real, because they're not hiding it. They're proud of this language that they brought out. They're proud of this. They're proud of their policies.
Mm-hmm.
They admitted it that they're, I was looking at one of what's her name, Jasmine Crockett, where she was talking to one of them about that, one of the guys that wrote it, and he was like, yes, I wrote it. He was very proud that we mean. While we are, hey, they are really about this business of this Christian national craziness. And if we don't start paying attention and really sitting down with our family members, really, it starts at home, really having these conversations, and talking some real conversations, like pulling these points out. How do you feel about this? How do you, for our transgender and, LGBTQ, people, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. They're coming for, everybody that's not a
Yep.
part of their class.
And their time is winding up.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it is that consciousness, that mindset of killing and getting rid of people who are not like us. That is an ignorant level that is off the Richter scale. It is mind-boggling how in this day and age people are so far away from humanity and that selfish and that greedy and not able to talk and socialize with others. When you talk about deviant personality disorder, it seems like the whole party, that whole idea, anybody who backs this 2025 project, whatever, that is a consciousness. Now, what I am excited about is when I look at the number of people of color, when I look at the number of people who are not like them, the numbers far exceed that. We've already won. If we look at how many people could be affected by this change, the changes in the laws, there's more people that this would affect than it not affect. We just got to get to the polls and take our life back.
Or you're going to be walking
burn
around
that
here.
Project 2025. It needs to be burned.
Right. Or don't go and be walking around here dressed up like a pilgrim. That's what you're going to be looking like. Just saying. I'm just saying. We got to, right, Amithia, we have to vote. We have to vote. We have to vote locally and nationally.
Yes.
Because some of these Republicans is on city council and like Bishop said, they disguise themselves as Democrats, but they really, when they take their masks off, they're Republican. So we just have to do
it. Those people want to get other people for and incarcerate them for and all this other stuff. They are doing some horrible things out here. They are part of some horrible acts. And they're acting as if they're so quote unquote Christian, following Christian ideology. If Christianity is not following Yeshua, if it's not following what people have renamed him as Jesus, if it's not really following him, if Christian nationalism is following him, is it following him? No. If it was following that life, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Robertina. It would be on some more of some kindness and empathy and compassion. We wouldn't be talking about what we're talking about, insanity today. Yeah. We'll be, you guys, when we came here because of wrongful convictions, right? This is why we all found each other, because we was passionate about educating people about wrongful convictions. Just imagine the wrongful conviction is going to be off the chain, and it's going to be with some I know, no prison sentences. It's going to be with some death penalties. So, I mean, I was just listening, and I was talking to Reverend Pinckney, and because I was listening to the story that came out of Benner Harbor with this police officer who was actually setting people up by playing drugs on him. He got caught. Had this one young man wrongfully convicted he got a 10-year sentence. And once he got caught, he got this police officer, the same exact charges of the young man he wrongfully convicted. And he got 18 months. And so when I tapped into Reverend Pinckney because I wanted to know more about that story, because I know he know about it. It's in Benton Harbor. And he said this man planted drugs on 300 people. So when you're talking about Donald Trump talking about giving the police absolute 100% immunity, come on now. You don't have time to sit at home when you got people out here with mindsets like that.
That's right.
When,
So,
and when you talk about Reverend Pickney, I've been walking and working with Reverend Pickney for many years, and I was at his trial when he was wrongfully convicted. But at
mhm,
that trial, they had no evidence. Reverend Pickney did not have his hands on the paper. The people that had their hands on the paper stepped up and said they did. They didn't even accept their testimony. They still, they still sent Reverend Pickney to prison,
My
to
Lord.
yes,
prison, but put him in solitary confinement. We couldn't even go see him. I have a badge. I can go to any prison in the United States of America. They didn't even want to accept mine. And then when it all boiled down, it was not even a law that they sent Reverend Pickney on.
My Lord.
And that's where we gonna be.
yeah,
They not gonna have to have proof. They not gonna have to have evidence. They're not gonna have to have a reason just because they want to get you out the picture. I had never been in a courtroom situation like that. When you say mouth, if you made a facial expression, the judge would put you out the courtroom. I was there. I watched it for myself.
My Lord.
yeah. Yes, I have heard Reverend Pinkley talk about that on many occasions, his wrongful conviction. And so when I tell people this can happen to anybody, it can happen to anybody. Nobody is exempt. I
That's right.
lived through it. I know it happened to my son. So I'm telling us, I employ people, please do your due diligence. Study, get the knowledge. Knowledge is
Yeah.
power. Get out here and get this. Is you can download it for free. It's PDF copy of Project 25. You can read 2-3 pages a day. You don't have to read the whole 900 at one time, but do yourself, a favor. Do your family a favor, right?
Mhm.
Do anyone else has anything to say before we leave? Want to leave us with anything, Bishop?
I just want to say that we have a responsibility as community to get this word out because knowledge is power. And if we educate the people, all people, I mean, we got to go to the club, we got to go to the block club, we got to go to the youth club. We've got to go to give them the information so they can make a knowledgeable decision and vote and vote.
Yeah.
Let their voice be heard. Because if they don't, if it's not heard this year, we might not get this chance again.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
That that's Trump's. That's what his forte is: dictatorship. When
Mm-hmm.
when when Public Act 4, Public Act 4, and that was a small version of Project 2025. Public Act 4 was to take our democracy away. It took our voice away. It put in
Mm-hmm.
dictatorship. When you got one man in charge of everything, making decisions, that's why we had the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Not because
Mm-hmm.
of this or that. It was because of one man, Rick Snyder, that
Yeah.
did not, I don't want to get upset, but did not make the decision, that did not treat our water, that said we wasn't worth coming here to see about. In December of 2014, he said Flint wasn't even worth coming to see about. And he didn't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't go to prison.
and did go to prison, didn't go to jail.
Didn't go to jail.
No, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen on a small scale, and I do not want to see it happen on a larger scale. My life has been affected by Public Act 4. It don't need to be affected by Project 2025. And I'm going to do all in my power to say it loud, to scream to the highest mountain, to the valley, down in the crevices, wherever they going to go, where the game, I'm going to go tell them, you got to vote. You got to exercise your right.
Yes.
You got to speak out. You got to make sure your voice is heard. We have a voice, and we must make it be heard.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes,
Right.
yes, Bishop.
Woo.
Thank.
Yes.
Go ahead, Reverend Tia.
Oh my goodness. Listen, Jay, thank you. Thank you for having this topic for the month of July. Thank you, Bishop, for coming on. Thank you for your leadership and for what you're doing in the community. Love it. And thank you, Attorney Mack, for what you're doing. Look, I'm telling you, what is it? Hugo Mack Law? No.
No.
H Mack Law is your hookup, right?
HMacLaw.com is your hookup.
.com is your look. All I know is I just had to dial you. That's all I'm saying, and I got hooked up. That's all I know. Yeah, look, I keep Attorney Mack's number right in my pocket, right? And I tell you, Jay, because
I didn't have it, but I'm gonna put it in mine too. So don't pretend like you don't know who I am when I call. Because it might be in the midnight hour, but I will call. I'm going to answer me.
That's right, Bishop. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, Jay, because I feel invigorated to work, to get out here some more, to keep the conversation going, and to educate.
That's
because
right. That's right.
This is happening now for us to rise up to this occasion and make a difference. We can change the narrative on this. Their time is up. That consciousness is over. It is antiquated, and it does not benefit them, even individually, even though they're too ignorant to understand it. But it does not benefit us as a country or as a community.
That's right.
When hate is at the forefront and division is at the forefront, you can't stand.
That's right.
You can't stand.
That's right.
Yes, Reverend Tia. Attorney Matt.
Well, I want to say this very briefly. You know, God bless you, sisters. You know, the Black woman is the most victimized demographic in the history of this nation. Unquestionably. Unquestionably. The Black woman is forced to become mother and father far too often. Grandmama, Big Mama, Medea, TT, all have had to do the role that Black men should be doing. It's true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I mean, it's a lot of reasons why. Okay. But Dr. King made it very, very clear. You know what? If we live together and willing to die together, willing to go to jail together, we can win, y'all. We can win, you know. And I want to say this to y'all, you know, I'm a Christian and I'm proud to be a Christian. Unlike other people, I don't think there's several ways to the mountaintop. For me, there's only one, the person of Jesus Christ. Okay. You know, so I'm not knocking nobody else. But what I'm saying is this, you know, Reverend Jackson said something. Many things he said, I've repeated many times. He said, y'all, Black people, if you stand up, he'll fall off your back. If you stand up, you know, you done got so used to being bent over. You think that's how you're supposed to walk. Now think about me walking down with my 225 pounds, walking down the street, and I'm bent over. You say, that man is crazy. You know, you say, or he got some kind of spinal problem, but you say, he ain't got no spinal problem. That's just the way he walked. And so see, we got these people, these people making us think we're supposed to be walking bent over. And so when you see a Bishop Jefferson or a J Love or a Reverend Tia walking up the street, say, what's wrong with that woman? So black women, you beautiful black women, please keep being who you are, you know, and raising man children. Please do, because you are our salvation. You really are. You, and I love all of y'all. Okay.
Yes.
You know.
Thank you, Attorney Matt. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to say to everybody who's watching us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on what else are we on? YouTube, on all these platforms, who's going to listen to this podcast later, to share it with others. You know, we're going to do a whole series on Project 2025. Hopefully Bishop will come back and join us as we continue this conversation. I want to leave, I saw this video today from the King Center, and it's Dr. King. And I want to leave on this note with Dr. King, you guys.
What happened is that some of our philosophers got off base. And one of the great problems of history is that the concepts of love and power have usually been contrasted as opposites, polar opposites. So that love is identified with a resignation of power, and power with a denial of love. It was this misinterpretation that caused the philosopher Nietzsche, who was the philosopher of the will to power, to reject the Christian concept of love. It was the same misinterpretation which induced Christian theologians to reject Nietzsche's philosophy of the will to power in the name of the Christian idea of love. Now we got to get this thing right. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love.
Good night, everybody.
God bless you. We love you.
Good night. Love you.
Good night.